Thanks for joining me at the Owensboro Public School System. Of course, I'm your host, Dave Kirk, and today we are celebrating National Nutrition Month. And I have a special guest. I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Beth Cecil, and I'm a registered dietitian at the Health Park here in Owensboro.
Beth, kind of just talk about, what does this month mean to people? What should we be thinking?
Well, National Nutrition Month, it's actually the 40-year anniversary, and it is around to just let people know the importance of eating well. This year's theme is Eat Right, Your Way, Every Day. And it kind of recognizes that everybody's different in their own unique nutritional needs, as well as sometimes their ethnic needs, but as everybody wants to, we still want them to eat a balanced diet, but everybody has their own special diet. So we try to focus on eating well every day, but eat your way.
Of course, at a school system, our top priority is kids.
Right.
And a lot of people think that, you should wait till you get older to eat well. That's when it matters. But I know it starts at a younger age. Just kind of talk about the importance.
Oh, definitely, especially when kids are still growing. That is when it's even more important than ever to eat right and make sure that you're getting the vitamins and the minerals and all of the nutrients that your body needs to grow and learn every day in school. You're right, we don't think about the negative effects of not eating well, such as diabetes and heart disease when we're young, but if you continue to not feed your body well over years, it will develop. Sadly, with the obesity rates increasing, we're starting to see younger people, including kids with diabetes, with high cholesterol, with high blood pressure. So it's more important now than ever to really be aware.
And I know Kentucky, it stands out for kind of the wrong reason with our kids. Just kind of talk about where we fall with our kids and maybe why we do have some problems there.
Yeah, we are the third highest obesity rate among kids in this United States, and as you mentioned, not a list we want to be on, that top 10 list. I think, of course, we were once named the fast food capital of the world, which I think is not another title we don't really want. But I think that with the society today, fast foods, large sweetened beverages, and then the lack or the decreased physical activity that we're seeing is really contributing to the increased amount of obesity, not only in our area but nationwide. So we're really trying to focus with kids about the importance of getting an hour a day of not exercise, just play.
Sure.
And in addition to eating well and limiting the fast foods and limiting the sweetened drinks such as sodas and Kool-Aid and sweet tea and things like that.
Well, we do know that kids have a bit of a sweet tooth. What are some kind of alternatives that they could eat versus instead of having that candy bar, what could they have to kind of get that sweet craving they might have?
Fruit is always a great idea. Any kind of fresh fruit, grab an apple, banana, orange. You could even make like a banana split with low-fat yogurt and a banana, put a few little mini chocolate chips on there, be a great snack. Vanilla wafers and angel food cake, those are also lower fat options, but would be great snacks.
As far as school lunches, I know there's been a big push, especially in the last couple of years, ever since, even when I was in high school, to really get healthy as far as offering, different options, portion sizes. Just kind of talk about, where that movement came from and kind of where it's going a little bit.
Yeah, I think about, especially when Michelle Obama became the First Lady, she really took on that childhood obesity challenge and so has really started to look at school lunches. We know that is in a way a captive audience because we have kids at school every day. So starting to look at offering healthier choices. And I used to tell my kids, you can have carrots or you can have green beans. You're going to have a vegetable. You get to choose which one it is. So the school lunches are trying to follow suit in terms of giving the kids healthier options to choose from. And watching the portion sizes of the foods is just one step in trying to manage the obesity and the healthier eating.
Of course, we can control it at school, but sometimes at home, that's kind of where the kids, I guess you could say, get away from that path. What are some tips you would tell parents to, it's probably kind of hard convincing an 8-year-old you need to eat this because, what are some tips you'd give parents?
One of the biggest challenges I hear from parents is I just don't have time to cook a healthy meal. So I encourage parents to sit down as a family and think together, what can we do quick and easy? You know, there are some great websites. The Eat Right is the National Nutrition Month, or the American Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. That's their website. They have a Kids Eat Right website that has recipes, but really just taking a little time. It doesn't take a lot of time to make a healthy meal. You know, grab a chicken breast with a bag of frozen vegetables and some whole grain rice, or spaghetti, low-fat ground beef, and some pasta. Doesn't have to be a real fancy meal, but just taking a few minutes to try to think ahead. What are we going to have for dinner, instead of thinking where are we going to stop on the way home? If you can sit down and make a little menu plan, that's really one of the biggest challenges. And of course, we know that the cost is always a factor. So,
sure.
You know, I tell people it doesn't have to be fresh fruit. It can be canned or frozen. Eating smaller amounts will help control costs as well.
I know that's another thing. It seems like, as far as being cost effective, why do you think healthy food is actually a lot of times more expensive than some of the fast food that I guess you could get?
Yeah, I don't know. I know costs are going up, you know, across the board in all of the areas, and I think that there is to some extent, but I also think it's a perception that healthy food costs more, because again, we think it's got to be fresh fruits, it's got to be. But if you think about, you know, a can of beans and a bag of rice, that's not really very expensive. And I've even used the example of a bag of Doritos. You know, what would you think you might pay for that? $3, $4, right? And you might get 10 to 12 servings. A bag of apples might be the same. But thinking about, you may even have more apples. So really, per serving, it may be cheaper to eat an apple than eat a serving of Doritos. And you know the apple's going to fill you up more.
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of it's just perception. And really, it does take some work to sit down and say, this is how much money I have to spend, but this is how I'm going to make it. I'm going to spread it out. We're going to eat leftovers. We're going to take leftover chicken and put it into a salad, and just different things you can do like that.
You kind of touched on my next point I was going with, as far as filling someone up.
Yes.
What are some good foods to snack on? You know, because kids love snacks.
Oh, yeah.
That will, you know, kind of curb that hunger
Yeah.
and still be good for them.
Right. And kids need snacks. So sometimes just taking two food groups together and making a combination food. So a small bowl of cereal, not a big bowl, but a small bowl of cereal after school, or a half a sandwich, some yogurt with some granola in it. One of the things that we love to do at the health park, we have a program called Power Up Kids. We take a half of an English muffin, put just a little spaghetti sauce on there and some cheese, and you've got a quick little mini pizza as a great snack. So kind of combining those things. Ants on the Log, if you remember that, with the celery, with some peanut butter and a few raisins on it. That was always a fun snack for the younger kids. So taking just a few things like that, even if they want some low-fat ranch dressing with some vegetables, that's a great snack.
As far as breakfast, I know I'm guilty of this. A lot of people have busy schedules. They tend to skip the breakfast, but I know that that is a meal that is absolutely just, you should not skip.
You shouldn't, correct.
Why is that?
Well, your body, when it is resting, kind of gets into a fasting state, and your metabolism, which is the way your body burns calories, it slows down. And so I give a lot of times kids the example of, would you want your parents to drive out of town on an empty tank of gas? And no way. So it's putting gas in your tank to get you started for the day and breaking that fast, and it really gets you going. And so if they don't have time to eat at home, we know that the schools offer breakfast as well. Even if you just grab a breakfast bar or a piece of toast out the door, or, you know, some milk, something like that on the way is better than nothing.
Now, a part of, obviously, being in good health, obviously, is nutrition, but something that you guys know quite a bit about, too, at the health park, exercise. You hit on, you know, you should really be exercising about an hour a day. Kind of talk about, you know, how important that is, that it's not just eating healthy if you want to stay healthy. You also have to practice the lifestyle.
You do, and it really is all about the what goes in and what goes out. And so we know that a big reason that kids are overweight or, you know, not as healthy today is because of the activity. It's decreased. You know, kids can't go outside and play like they used to for safety reasons, and we don't see the kids walking to school. And, you know, we hear our parents and grandparents, I walked 2 miles
both ways,
snow,
right?
Both ways,
uphill.
But really, the recommendation from the the National Physical Activity Guidelines is an hour of a day for kids. It doesn't have to all be at one time, but that helps get their heart rate up. It helps strengthen their heart, and it really does help burn calories. And they can do it 15 minutes 4 times a day, or if they like to dance, get in their room and turn music on. Not every child is going to be an athlete, but there's ways that other kids can do activities and get moving and walk outside, play basketball, walk the dog, chase your brother or sister around.
If you could just kind of give me some examples of some exercise that people might not think is exercise that really is actually good for them.
Yeah, just jumping rope. Of course, bike riding, I think we all think of that as a good exercise. Trampolines, I know that they can be dangerous, but if you've got that enclosure, you can be safe on it. If you try to be safe, practice safety on the trampoline, but that's another activity that maybe you don't think about. They think of that more as play. Go play tag in the backyard and run around and chase kids around. Sometimes the Wii Fit, if it's one of those exercises where you get your heart rate up, anything that's outside of your normal routine and that gets that heart rate up is considered activity. And again, I call it play. Kickball, that used to be one of my favorite games growing up.
Well, is there anything else as far as tips or, kind of what we're talking about this month that you'd want to let people know about?
I just think, again, just take a look at overall what you're doing. Eating healthy, small changes, I think, is also key. If you can just eliminate one sweetened beverage per day or cut back on the times that you eat out. And, a lot of times, if we let our kids know what's right and what's healthy, they can take that home and kind of influence the parents a little bit. Small changes can add up over time, and I think that's always a key message too.
Cool. Well, Beth, I appreciate you coming on, giving us some tips. Definitely much appreciated. You have a lot more expertise in this than we do.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem. Well, obviously, we want everybody to stay healthy this month, faculty, staff, and of course, parents. Thanks for watching. To get a couple tips on staying healthy in March, for the Owensboro Public School System, I'm Dave Kirk. Thanks for watching.